So it's hard to tell where the future is going to go, right? But we're very good at detecting probability and odds and stuff like that. Plus, when you look at survival as evil, the things we've had to do to survive is evil. Well, then everything's evil, right? We were born from evil. We were created by evil. We were born into this world extremely late. A lot of this stuff already done, right? And we create this mass communication, the internet, what we used to call the super information highway, or the information superhighway. We grew up with dial-up, the most annoying sound in the world. And here we are. Oh, and I love to mention that in 1999 was when Dunning-Kruger effect was published in a book. 1999. So nobody had experimented with people knowing the wrong information before that. Sounds to me like the internet might have been the tool that showed everything. So if that's the case, then before 99, that means most people, for some reason, either believed in the evidence handed, which, we gain new evidence every day of things, because we have a need for knowledge. And now you have these two types of brains, the ones that remember, and then the ones that do other things as well. And I'm looking at this job thing, where they're more concerned about people getting along than anything else. It's no longer about the reputation of the company. That was the criminal record. Yeah, we don't want people with these charges here because that's going to make our company look bad. We can't trust them. And now it's, well, if you tend to give dirty looks, then you're not going to last here because people don't like dirty looks. And now I see a few ways that this is going to go. One, the tech that is going to be in these everywhere, warehouses, whatever, is going to be way too expensive. And they're not going to want it to be influenced, by bad people. But the thing is, it's all going to be connected anyway, right? I mean, how are you going to give AI, a artificial life form? You're going to give it the ability to observe, to predict, to do all this stuff. And you're telling me they're not going to be able to communicate between each other? So if we have one job on one side of town, it's not going to be able to talk with the AI at the job at the other side of town. There are two different jobs across town from each other. They're not going to be able to communicate. You kidding me? We've had walkie-talkies since like the 1700s. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't really care, because remembering that information would mean taking place of something more important. So then another scenario I see is that you're going to have these people that have no problem sealing themselves up in this nice little package For everybody else to write on, say, okay, you're going to be this today. Yes, sir. And they're going to get paid in nickels, because once AI is more productive than us, then, they're not going to want to pay us more money when we can manufacture less than these robots. And these robots, well, they're going to need repairs and stuff. So why are they going to pay you more when they can just get rid of you? But the robots, obviously, they're going to want to keep in good shape. And, because if they go haywire for whatever reason, then just imagine the warranty on that. Oh, man. Imagine where would the numbers for that go? Would it go to the company itself? Would it dent their numbers, or would they say, well, this is the property of this AI company, they created it, we're not taking the hit for that, it's going to be them? And how's that going to work? How are these numbers and days without so many or so many days without accidents going to work if AI won't take the blame? And the AI companies, why would they take the blame? They're the ones, like, that'd be like, the warehouses having the equipment they have now and blaming it on the company that made the equipment when it was actually one of their workers that did something they weren't supposed to. That they say, okay, well, this company, it's been so many days since, an accident. But with AI, it's going to be tricky. And then the other scenario I see is like Elon said, is that they're just going to give us all one straight pay. And I mean, would that really be that bad? I mean, the problem with us is the need for security doesn't just end when we get that sense of security. We also now need something to, take up that space in our mind that's telling us we can get more, we need more, or we need to get away from this. There's always something in our brain that's saying we need something else. There's something else missing. And why is that? Part of it's because of the default mode network, because we're always aware. Think about it. We may be highly progressive and, very, very fast moving today, but, in the times of farmers and stuff, like, they would have gotten a lot of stuff done, but not nearly as much as us. But they were also using their bare hands. And see, that would have taken up that time that they would have been thinking about other things. It's like, okay, well, I could be in Australia on the beach right now. Okay, time to go milk the cows. But nobody sees it that way because, well, for one, nobody's a farmer anymore. And these days, nobody's actually appreciated for the work they do. And, considering if farmers would have hated their families as much as people do today, would have been a much darker story. Well, I mean, it was an extremely dark story on the way here, but if you're a person that can just remember, oh, be glad you can't play scenarios in your head of things you've never seen, because, man, sometimes that can be a real nightmare. I once had somebody say, well, anarchy is people standing around a burning dumpster with spikes on their shoulders. And I'm thinking, that's what you think anarchy is? Bro, go read some Mad Max books or something, and then you'll be like 10% of the way there. Yeah. Watch the Purge movies, they'll get you up to 15%. You'll see about 15% of what the world will actually be doing.